Right, we're now outside the tower, probably Blackpool's most famous building. Built in 1894, 418 feet 9 inches tall, weighs 3,500 tonnes, and interestingly is a replica. Because every single piece of metal you can see there is actually not the original. The last original 1894 piece of the tower was taken away in 1969. That is an exact replica, piece by piece, because obviously it rusts, and so they've taken away every part that's become too rusty to be safe. Its other interesting claim to fame, possibly, is that the previous building was called Dr. Cocker's Menagerie and Aquarium, and is basically on the same site, but the entrance was slightly different to where it is today. And the interesting part to that is that in 1864, 30 years before the tower was built, when the previous building was in existence, another storm hit Blackpool, and a bark that had set off from Carlisle for Canada with a load of timber basically ran aground here, and 12 of the people on board were killed in the terrible storm, despite the best efforts to save them. And when things were a bit calmer, the bodies were recovered and they were taken into Dr. Cocker's Menagerie, a similar sort of system to when the lady up at the Metropole was taken in, because they wanted to do an instant post-mortem and see exactly what had happened to the people, etc. And so they all were taken into this building on the site of what is now the tower. So what happens now is that many times, and Jeff Sage is the manager there, who's a good friend of mine, and he's a very level-headed guy. If he says something's happened, trust me, it happened. And he's seen many times 12 people sail through the walls of the tower into the tower area from the promenade. Go straight across the prom, across the tram tracks, and float through the walls, but where the entrance for the original building was. Also in there is another usherette. As I say, it's a lethal profession, that. Again, supposed to have died during her working career there. And also a guy down in the catacombs again, also apparently a Fred or a Charlie or some other friendly name like that. And the other one that's there is the laugh of Charlie Caroli. He's heard, and it was a very specific laugh, and one not that you could easily replicate, shall we say. And so it's more than likely his actual laugh that has been trapped in the atmosphere of the tower. So those most of the stories that relate to the ghostly hauntings of Blackpool's tower buildings.